The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. Folks, we're going to have a very special guest, of course, at the break. Norman Nixon from Winsky. Norm Nixon played for the Lakers. Sorry about that, Norm. It's Norm Winsky at the half-hour break. Folks, we have some big things happening. I'm going to make a little derivation from our usual showing the DAX. The DAX made an ABCD pattern earlier this morning. On the downside at that 11,425, I believe. But the one we want to look at, there's two of them that are very, very important in my opinion. The first one we put up here is the gold market. Folks, this puppy's got legs. Let me tell you, this is rocking and rolling. If we back off and we get a 38% retracement, which would be just about 34 bucks, I think it would be a buy. So if we get that, you know, we're up. Look at this chart. This is starting to make people, stand up and take notice. So, we've had it's very overbought right now, of course. Silver still looks a little worse than the gold, but even then, silver still looks pretty good. So pay attention to this one, folks. This has got a really something special going on here. So we want to watch it closely, as we always do. And the other one that's very important, that surprised the bejeebies out of a lot of people, and that is the British pound. As you know, Theresa May, the Prime Minister, she came in and had a talk, and the market just absolutely didn't like what she had to say, and it went down to touch that 1.1985 level. It didn't quite take out the lows from October. It missed it by a few pips, and now, folks, we are challenging the January highs up here at the 1.24 level. This could be a major bottom here in this bear market with this double bottom that we have going on this morning. So this is a huge move, folks. When you see a currency that moves 400 pips, and it's only been probably 8 or 9 hours since this occurred, it's really very, very important. It's all related to the dollar index that we talked about so often. If you'll remember here, we want to put this in. This is one of the charts that I featured in the newsletter this week because it is so very important. That shows the key level that we're looking at here in this U.S. dollar index, because we hit that 61% retracement. This chart was done for us by our good friend Jim Bartolioni. It shows the beautiful symmetry that you have here between time and price, and also the divergence that you get sometimes when you're watching relative strength. And that is, in fact, what we're also seeing at this particular time. Now, if we go down to just a little bit smaller time frame, and that's what we're going to do, you'll see the same thing, only it would be a little bit, in fact, we're already at this level that I posted here on Saturday when I was doing all of this. We've already come down. We're almost ready to break the 100. We might even have broke it because I haven't checked the dollar index. I very seldom trade the dollar index. I always trade the euro. That's almost euros every day. That's a no-brainer. But the euro, then it's the yen and the pound, then Aussie, Canadian. We're having a massive move in the Canadian dollar too. So this is very, very important. Anything below this 100 level sets up a move all the way down to 97, and that means that the euro most probably is going to have a chance to break out of this move. That is, very, very important. Since we're talking about currencies, let's just take a look here at what happened here to the euro, because this is something that we talked about on Friday. We've been waiting for this market to get up in this area. You'll notice that we wanted it to get up into this 107 level. It got to 107.25 this morning. It's backed off about 50 pips from that level, but as you can see, that sets up a potential ABCD down here to the par level, if that is going to happen. But anything above this 108 level, boys and girls, Mr. Rogers has told me that that is really a bullish sign. Even if it's a bear market, it can still be a very, very bullish sign. So kind of pay a little bit of attention to that, and it'll give you a better idea of what's going on. Another market that we were looking at to see a potential rally for a short sale was the Japanese yen versus the dollar. And if you'll see here what's happened today, we put a notation here that below 113.50 was a very, very negative sign. And of course, we opened a little bit higher this morning, and then the market just shattered that and went down to the one a little below the 113 level. So a lot of things going on in the currency markets, which is not unusual around the first of the year, because that's when things usually happen with the currencies. That's why it's so interesting, to watch these little puppies unfold. But from the technical purposes, the most important thing to look at today was the movement that we had in the British pound, 400 pips, and then also the move in gold up to that 382 level. So that's very important. Remember, silver has still not taken out those December highs where we've shattered it in the gold market, but not in some of the others. So we want to watch if it can get above that 382 level at that 1322 today. Wow, 1232, 12. Wow, let's try slowly, Larry. 1222 per ounce. That would be up almost $100 an ounce from the low that we made back in December, right at that 78% level. So this is going to be very, very interesting on the pullback in gold, should we get one. And usually in these markets, you usually do. The other market, folks, that is rocking and rolling, and that is the soybean market, folks. It is up 20 cents overnight. I'm going to post the chart here to see what's going on. And believe me, this is going to be really, thank you very much, Dudette. Anyway, you can see we had some really nice harmony here. We were right at the 61% retracement down there at that 992 level. We're up 60 cents a bushel. We've gapped above the 78% retracement on a Monday night, folks. That's a very, very bullish sign. Even wheat is picking up a little steam, and corn is up a few cents. But the leader of the pack in here is the soybeans, led by the soybean meal. The soybean meal is the one that is making things going. I will bring the corn chart up here if I can. I don't think I can do it right now, but I will try to do it a little later. But the May corn is which one I'm following, still hasn't broken out to the upside. It's got a chance, but not yet. It's got another 5 or 6 cents to go. But these could be things that are happening in all the commodities, folks. We could be looking at a weaker dollar in here and inflation, and then you're looking at things that have been very cheap. And so these are the things that could be turning. So we got to pay attention to this big time. That's very important. 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, I posted a little chart table to take a look at. This is the 16 of the 30 Dow stocks. These are the more expensive ones. You'll notice here there was only one stock that has not had any rally at all. It's exactly where it was on November the 5th. That is Johnson & Johnson. It happened to be one of the stocks that John Logan talked about on his show this morning is looking quite negative, and this certainly tells you that that's probably the reason. But if you'll look at these 16 stocks, you're looking at a Dow move that went 2,050 points. 1,987 of those points was done by these 15 stocks, because you can't take J&J because it didn't do anything. And remember that the Dow Jones is a price-weighted average. In other words, they only take the price of the Dow. They do not multiply it times the number of shares to get the total capitalization. If they did that, you know, your XOM, your ExxonMobil, I believe would be one of the busiest ones, as would Apple. But I think that ExxonMobil is even bigger than Apple, but I'm not sure of that anymore. But Goldman Sachs, look at that. Goldman Sachs was over 24% of the move in the Dow. You know, IBM was pretty good too, but mainly it was the financial stocks. One half of the gains in the was in these 7 stocks. So it's amazing that this is, you know, you're talking about a very, very small number of stocks here to move the market as much as it did. And we've seen this, of course, in the New York Stock Exchange Index, you know, making a double top. However, you know, the NASDAQ has made a 1.618 expansion. So just keep in mind that this thing is, this is not a broad-based type thing. I mean, it's a little bit scary. And if you look at the advanced decline line, that was reported by our good friend Arch Crawford. We'll put this up to let you see. You'll see that we're seeing some differences here in the advanced, excuse me, that's not the advanced decline line, folks. It was the, just one second here, it was the new highs to new lows, and that's what we're looking at here. You notice we've had lower tops in here, and usually in a bull market you would expect it to see much. Now we've got a very, very positive bias in the market now. It's about as bullish as it gets, and the short interest in stocks is about as low as it gets. In other words, there's virtually nobody out there short stock based on what the short stock index is. So we'll whether that's going to be a sign of it being overbought or not, you know, certainly remains to be seen. The next thing we want to do is to take a look at some of these stocks that were in the Dow Jones, and just to show you what they're doing as far as their patterns. One of the patterns we're going to take a look at here, we're going to go a few of these stocks because they are very interesting. We've had a request to look at them. This is a Home Depot. As you can see, we've had a 3-drive pattern right up at a 1.618 expansion. Didn't quite make a double top, and it's been basically going sideways since December 16th. We did have a 78% rally in that stock, and hasn't really gone too far, you know, from that level. We want to watch this one very, very closely, of course. The next one we want to watch is one of the financial stocks, which is J.P. Morgan, and we're going to be bringing this up to let you look at it. Now, this is on a 4-hour chart because you can see it clearly that you do have a perfect 3-drive to a top pattern here in J.P. Morgan, going from the 14th of December into the 1st of January, and then to the high that we made here on Friday, because the J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs did make a new high, even though we did not do that in the Dow Jones. So those are others that we want to keep in mind as we go through and look at some of these. Now, the next one, of course, is Apple. We want to watch this, and we're also going to look at a little bit smaller time frame here in Apple, because it's acting a little less than it usually does as far as being bullish. You'll notice that it has a very nice head and shoulders pattern over the last 5 days of trading. You know, any move above that 120 area would take it up to a 3-drive pattern, which would be up around the 120.50 and change. So this is something that if you trade Apple, watch that level of 120.50 in Apple. That's going to be a very, very interesting one, you know, to keep an eye on, because you know, Apple is heavily traded by a whole lot of people. Now, I've also picked out a few random ones that are not in the Dow but look very interesting, and this one happens to be Google. Here again, we're looking at a thing that you know, it looks like there's a potential head and shoulders here in Google, and whether it's going to work or not remains to be seen. But these are just some of the shorter term patterns that we're watching as we look at some of these things. Facebook has a very interesting one. I know this has been a stock that is very heavily in the news, and you'll see here that we've had a 3-drive to a top pattern on the daily chart up at that 133 level. We broke down to 114 into the election. Here's a stock that has not gone up like the rest of them. It's made a 78% retracement. That completes a head and shoulders pattern. It's just an absolutely perfect one. You've got the left shoulder and the right shoulder exactly equal. The distance is correct. This is a textbook head and shoulders pattern in Facebook. So you watch this one very closely, because anything above the 130 and a half level, 131, would tell you that you're most probably on the wrong side of this. This is the good part. When you're doing these technical patterns, folks, you don't have to risk very much. They don't work all the time. In fact, you know, if you get them around 60, 65%, you know, you're doing great. But when the ones are really looking at these things from a perspective of how they line up, it's just really amazing, because, you know, if they get above these numbers, it tells you don't know where they're going to go. And that's why, you know, it's so very, very important. just to give you an example of that particular phenomenon, and that is, I wanted to show you one that is in the process of failing, and that is the Netflix. As you can see here, we had this double top in Netflix. We backed off about 3%, and now we're higher. And then today, I saw early this morning that Netflix is higher again. So it is breaking out above this other top, and that means it's most probably going to go up to the 140 level, which is the 1.618 of that move. So that's a really big one to keep an eye on. That's the main thing to look at. Yes, in fact, I'll put this up here. They were asking a little bit here about the S&P. If we take a look at it from the overnight perspective, looking at a shorter term, 15-minute chart, you'll see we had some support there at the 2258 level. We've hit that. We bounced up to about 2265. Going below 2248, folks, sets up a move at least to 2254, and below 2248 sets up a really, really negative scenario here in the E-mini S&P if it does that. So, I don't think that did the chart on the E-mini pop up, folks. I can't tell whether it did or not. Shut the front door. Sorry, folks. Let's give me a chance. I'm going to do that now, and then we're going to have Norm Winsky on from Astro Trend at the break.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we have Norm Winsky of Astro Trend on the line. Are you there, Norm?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning to you, young man. You have the podium, but we have a question from someone, if you don't mind, and that is, how often or do you use the Venus-Uranus cycle? And if you do, where are we within that cycle?
I use lots of different cycles. That's one of many. And I have to go look that up, and we don't have time to do that right now. But
Okay.
we're going to talk about Venus today. That's why I asked. You know, I was on the 5th of January, and then I said in the future, I said coming up on the 17th, we have an important Venus point coming, and that's why I asked you to come back on and do a follow-up.
Okay, you're in charge, my friend.
Yes, sir. If that person would like to call me, I'll look it up, and then we'll see where we're at on that. You know, but
Okay.
Venus-Uranus is important on a short-term basis. Anyway, so here's the basic principle that I find works very well is when the planets change trend, the markets change trend. It's a pretty simple principle. Well, let me also say right up front, I know when people first see this stuff and they're not familiar with it, their eyeballs kind of glaze over. They think, man, you got to be a rocket scientist to do this stuff. No, you're just unfamiliar with some of the terms here. If you can learn 30 to 40 terms and symbols, this is really, you don't have to be smarter than a 5th grader. There's no advanced mathematics here whatsoever. It's really pretty simple. So if you folks, I'll tell you later in a few minutes how the people can contact me, and we will get a class and we can get you started, you know. But this is the best timing model I know of, are doing the planetary cycles. Now, today we have Venus going at a key point as the planets go around and around like a carousel. Now, the horse is on a carousel, the planets go around and around, and they also go up and down. So they hit key points as they go up and down, and Venus is doing that today. As what happened the last time this happened, I have a chart here on the screen. I don't know if you can, folks, hopefully folks can see that, and
Yes,
see
we
back
can.
here on the 7th of June. The last, you know, Venus is about a 225-day cycle as it goes around the sun. And Larry, you're going to love this. You probably already know this, but Venus as orbit around the sun is 225. If you get your calculator out, you'll find out that's 0.617, just by one digit on the last decimal there of the Earth, which is 365 and a quarter, right?
Yep.
So there's a Fibonacci relationship there between Venus and the Earth. Now, back here on the 7th was when the last Venus as a 0 north latitude occurred. And the next day we went, I think, about a little more than $1 higher on the S&P. And then we topped out. And then we continued. Then over the next about 10 days, let's see, 10, down to the 27th of June. So roughly 9-10 days, we dropped 100 handles. So that's pretty significant, I think, you know, if you're, that can make or break your year, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's what happened back in June. I've been monitoring this point actually for back to the late 70s, early 80s. I always had it in my arsenal, but lately I've actually elevated it to a higher level toward the very top of my planetary cycles in terms of importance. I think this could be one of the polarity points, planetary polarity points, that actually can flip things like the Bradley model, where you have planetary energy, and it flips the energy from positive to negative or negative to positive, where, you know, and so forth, you know. So I think we need to keep a keen eye on this point. And so I was looking for within a 1 to 2 trading days of today, I'm looking for probably a top. It looks like we may have already topped based on this morning's futures. E-mini, when I last looked a little while ago, was down about 8 handles. Do you have that in front of you, Larry? Is that still the case?
You know, I haven't. I rather listen to you than watch it, but
okay.
We are down exactly 8 handles. You're exactly correct.
There you go. All right. So, yep. And so that's now let's go back a little bit here. Back on the 6th, by the way, when I was on your show on the 5th, I warned about Mercury turning direct, that would be a change in trend. And, if you look, by the way, you were just talking about soybeans a little while ago. And if you go look at the beans missed making the low of the month by a half of a penny. They made their low of the month on the 3rd, that was the first trading day of the month, of the year. And they had a little rally and then came back and retested, missed it by a half of a cent on the 6th, and then they've been up ever since. That's Mercury going direct. So Mercury is the important key planet for soybeans. And so then we had now on the stock market here. Oh, and here's your Mercury direct for the S&P, that green arrow there. Then we pulled back into the full moon, which I also talked about when I was last on here. And so then we came back up, and now we're retesting the highs of the month as of Friday, the 13th. And now it looks like we may roll over and go down, and on this Venus point. So that's where we're at now. You want to watch also, certain markets are tied to have what we call planetary rulers. These are the key planets associated with those markets, and the key markets for Venus are cattle, copper, cotton, stocks, sugar, and wheat. So we want to watch those. And now I think that if we roll over here and start breaking down and start going down on the stock market, I think that we could continue lower all the way, somewhat similar to the June price action. We could pull all the way back to around the 27th of January when we have a new moon, and there's a whole huge cluster of planetary events there, including Mercury at 0 south latitude, which is kind of an opposite point. And so I think which is also the highest energy window that weekend is the highest energy window of the month on my analysis. You get my calendar there, Larry, and you look at that. That's where the really big, huge numbers are.
Every day I look at it.
There you go. Don't leave on without it, Larry.
You got it.
All right, so that's let's see if I missed anything. I think I pretty much covered everything, and and then we're going to have one of my other big things is when the plants stop to turn direct or retrograde, and that's going to happen on the last weekend. Well, I'm covering the first few days of February. My January letter goes all the way to the Super Bowl Sunday weekend. So Friday is the 3rd. And over that weekend, Jupiter is going to turn retrograde. Mm-hmm. So let's see what else. Okay, so any questions?
I do have a question, but I want you to stay with us if you have the time until we come to the break, so that we can give you a little bit of time to show the folks what you can offer them. But one of the questions that someone has asked about this is that do you weight these factors as you look at the cycles that you're looking at, as far as Mercury retrograde and the full moons and new moons? Is there a weighting system that you use, or you just use each one of them as a separate indicator?
A little bit of both, in that I weight them by time, how important they are. So the bigger the cycle, the longer the ramifications it could have into the future. So obviously some little moon thing is only going to, they only have an influence for a short while, 30 minutes. That's something. Okay, we'll talk about it when we come back.
You got it. Thank you very much. Yes, Norm Nixon of Astro Trend. We'll be right back, folks. 877-927-6648.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest live programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 9 hours a day starting at 8 a.m. as John Logan kicks us off each trading day with the Global Market Pulse. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Mondays and Fridays, catch live trading on the Nadex platform with host Tom and Tommy O'Brien, along with Daryl Martin on the Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, with our friend Norm Winsky from Astro Trend. Norm, I have put the second page of your information that you said about the class that you're going to get. But before you start that, can I make a little comment?
Sure.
Okay, folks, Norm offers this program where he actually, I think he spends 4 or 5 hours, sometimes longer, showing you how to do some of these things yourself. And I know, some types of people like myself, and for sure, is that when I first started looking at the astro stuff, I was very, very skeptical. And being a Catholic, it was even worse. But after I started seeing that it was just numbers, it was really very, very useful. And I wish I'd have had something like this, because I didn't meet Norm. Well, I knew Norm, but I didn't meet him astrologically until 1986, I believe. But I had met him before when I was in Chicago, but I didn't realize how important some of these cycles are. The problem is they don't work all the time. Bottom line is he's offering you a good way to walk slowly into this, to see how some of these things work and to prove them to yourself, because until you prove them to yourself, it ain't worth diddly, folks. You got to be able to believe it. So take an idea, or take advantage of what he's offering you here. It's a money-back guarantee, and believe me, he sends the checks out right away. So Norm, fire away, my friend.
Righto, and the money-back guarantee is for free. This is all free. You got an opportunity here to get my letter for free, and the class is free. So it's funny. It's a funny joke, Larry, to give money-back guarantee, but it is free. I don't want to confuse the folks. I've had some people call and say, "Oh, I'm all confused about the money back guarantee." So that's just a joke, Larry. So anyway, it is free. You can get my letter, and we got one of probably the best time coming up here for the entire year to get my letter is in February, when I do some of my longer term forecasts based on fractals using the January price section. I produce those all in February. February is I call it my fun for forecasting month. February is fun for forecasting, and so we have lots of models there for the entire year, map out the entire year in the month of February coming up. And you can also get the January letter and a class and looking for we have a short window, very short window here, just in the next few days. I may be able to help some people with this before I start working on the next letter, February letter, which usually takes me almost 2 weeks to crank that out. So then not doing any classes. I'm working around the clock to get the next letter done. So I got a few days here where I might be able to help some folks if they want to get right back to me either today or tomorrow, and then we can set them up and get them going. So please call Norm I'm in Florida, USA, and my landline, I've scrolled down on the page I'm operating here, is at 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. And my email is nwinski@embarkmail.com, or you can Skype me at norm.winski. And if anybody's new out there and doesn't know who I am, Larry, I've been doing this almost as long as you have. And right out of college, I went to 1975, went to the Chicago Board Options Exchange, and I was a market maker. That meant I was risking my own money on the floor there, trading my own money, and I survived that. And then also for a while was on the Chicago Board of Trade, did that too. And so, and I've been doing this. I started studying the stock market when I was 15. I'm 65 now. So I've been doing this a while, got a little bit of experience, and I think I got a few tricks up my sleeve, that I'd like to share with the folks. So we're looking forward to helping them if they'd contact me right away,
Norm, we have a question from someone in the den, and we know that you've bought Evangeline Adams's library from who was the astrologer for J.P. Morgan. Was there any particular books in those libraries that were enlightening to you?
Not in the way when a friend of mine, an astrology friend of mine, told me about Evangeline Adams. I said, let's see if we can go find if she has any books or papers or not. And we searched around, and after about a month's time or so, several weeks of investigating, we tracked them down, and I thought, I'm going to learn the secrets of what Evangeline Adams told J.P. Morgan, and then I'm going to get rich, right? Well, I realized it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get this library. So regardless of what was in it, I was going to buy it anyway. But when I got it, it was really mostly antiquarian astrology books. That's like, books that are, some of the books are 300 and 400 years old. So there was nothing in there about the markets. And just a very good collection of old astrology books. And got some classics in there if you're into collecting old astrology books, some of the more famous ones. And I learned she was into. She used to have these parties. She was the astrologer to all the top celebrities of the day, and she would have these parties, and people would come over, and she'd have all her party guests doing a palm imprint. Put their hand on the ink, and then she had a palmistry book. She was a friend of famous palmist of the day was a fellow by the name of Cairo, I think Cheiro, and so she was that was kind of her little side hobby, and she would have people collect palm imprints and then do their palm analysis. That was kind of her little side thing. But she had clients like the King of England and the royal families as clients, and all the top Hollywood celebrities and so forth. And when she died in, I think, 31, they had the people lined up. They had her funeral in downtown New York there on Manhattan, and the people were lined up all the way around the block to say goodbye, Wow. She was a superstar of her day. She had one of the first coast-to-coast radio programs in the country. And when it looked like the market looked a little shaky there in early September of 29 near the top, people had heard that she was putting out a cell signal, and that she had her office in the Carnegie Hall there, a little studio office in Carnegie Hall, and they lined up around the block to get in to see her.
Listen, she was probably the Jeannie Dixon of her day then, right? Dixon was the one that was the Reagan astrologer that made her very famous, as I recall.
Dixon's got famous because she made the forecast about Kennedy was going to be assassinated.
JFK. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
You're thinking of Reagan had a couple of different astrologers. I think he started out with a fellow by the name of Rickman or something like that. And then first astrology book I ever bought was a book by Joan Quigley, which was later exposed as that was the story about how Nancy was calling this astrologer. That was Joan Quigley. You can look her up on Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. But that's the astrologer you're probably thinking of. She kind of Joan tried to stay under the radar, and but what's his name? Reagan's chief of staff, Reagan. You remember him? Don Regan.
Merrill Lynch. Yes, Merrill Lynch.
Yeah,
CEO,
after he left office, he did a tell-all book. He and Nancy did not get along, to say the least, and so he was kind of venting there in his book, to get back at Nancy. And Nancy's calling an astrologer. He thought that would be, I guess, disparaging to Nancy and revenge for Nancy and him not getting along.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Norm, thanks for joining us, my friend. We'll have you on again soon. Okay.
Very good. Thank you very much, Larry. I hope some of your folks, some folks call me today so we can get them going.
Thanks a lot, Norm. 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I wanted to talk just a little bit about Starbucks here. has a very interesting technical pattern. You can almost write a book on the technical pattern in Starbucks. You can see the bottom that was made down there at 51. We had a rally up to 58, backed off a little bit, and now over the last 6 days, we've rallied up to a 61% retracement and stopped there. So whether that's going to mean much or not, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, it looks like we have this gaps up. We've had 2 gap ups last week, but the market stalled, so that pretty much negates those gaps, but it can continue going. So if you're going to look at the short side of Starbucks at this area, your stop would certainly be around the 59 level. So you're risking just a little bit more than $1 in this stock if you're interested in selling it from the short. So that's not a recommendation. That's just a observation. Folks, if you have an interest in the astrology part, a good way to start is to look at Norm Winsky's work. I mean, he does a good job. You get some really free stuff that is certainly worth the money. I don't know why he does it free, but that's neither here nor there. So keep an eye on that's what we're looking at here with astrology. You've got to start somewhere if you want to do it, and that's the main thing. But big things are happening, folks. Breakouts in the British pound. The gold has made a 382 retracement from our low that we made, just about 7 weeks ago. That's a $90 move, basically straight up. As we pointed out, each of the retracements was exactly between $17 and $20, all 6 of them. So the first time you see a retracement more than $20, you'll expect gold to break off, and we're looking for it to come down to a 382 retracement, and ideally it would do it over a 3 or 4 day period. That would be the main thing to look at in the gold market. So but we are having some really good volatility here. This is going to continue, folks. This is not the end of the volatility. This is just the beginning. And of course, with a new administration coming in and with social media, you got to be on your toes because things can change in a heartbeat. 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.